Hello, everyone. I'm Jesus, and welcome to the next episode of The Road to Old School MTG. I have just one package here, but a pretty important package. I should have here two revised Underground Sea cards. So I have the intention of building the deck from Brian Weissman for Old School Magic. And I just from having bought a lot of the Power 9 cards and just the very powerful cards that are in Old School Magic, I had a lot of the components already for the deck. I since also purchased the minor stuff that was needed. I still have maybe one or two more cards to go. But from now, the main cards needed to finish the deck from what I already have are 4 Underground Seas and 1 Black Lotus. The Black Lotus I do not intend to buy anytime soon, maybe ever. I'm not that I don't want it, but for that same money, I could buy other things that I think give me more bang for the buck. But the revised dual lands, the revised Underground Seas, that is attainable, although they are probably the most expensive dual land. Here I have 2 of them, so I have 2 more to go after this. Although I'm waiting for the right price, just like I was waiting for this. This one, I got it at a pretty good deal because I still am using all the different kinds of Armageddon decks that I've already built, right? So I have a lot of playing to go with that even, right? So this is more of a side project, but something that I am very interested in finishing off. And with these 2 cards here, it brings me that much closer to completing the deck. In terms of the Black Lotus, I'll substitute that for something else. Mana Vault, or whatever I feel. A lot of times, Mirror Universe is a card I've been thinking about. Brian Weissman didn't have that card in it, but it gets included a lot of times. So that since I won't have the Black Lotus slot, I still have to fill that in with something, and so that's kind of like up to my taste in terms of what I want the deck to do. But for the 4 Underground Seas, that is needed. So I have 2 here, 2 more to go. So first, a little story of how I got this. This is from the Facebook Old School Magic Marketplace. These 2 cards should be in kind of like medium played, moderately played condition. So they're worn, definitely, maybe even heavy played. We'll see. But from the pictures, they look decent. It's still very obvious it's used. I got both for $1,000, so $500 each, which is pretty good price for Underground Seas in this condition. In this condition, they're probably close to 700, or at least 600, right? So that's why, even though I'm kind of trying to scale back my spending because it's time to pay the bills, this came in such a good deal that I just had to take it. So let me change my camera angle and open it up. Okay. So thank you to Peter for this. I won't post the transaction details because it's a private conversation. But it's suffice to say, I've done this before. So just to be very careful here, I'm just feeling it out for making sure I don't cut anything wrong. So nice strong bubble mailer, a separate package inside of. It is also a bubble mailer. I think it feels like it. It's a smaller one. Yep, it is. So very nicely packaged. And then even wrapped around in cardboard. So this is pretty tightly. You gotta be careful here. Should be probably a top loader inside, I think, to protect it from the outside cutting, right? Because there's only one way to get in here. So I should hope so. If not, this is kind of like a flawed plan. Pretty hard to get into. And I don't want to force it either. Doesn't look like it, but there's $1,000 in here. Okay, see I can just open it up enough. Nope, not really, because it's taped inside as well. So it's very nice job. But I do see it's a top loader inside. So that just gives me more confidence I could cut from the sides without having damaging the card itself or the cards inside. Wow. All right, and then so taped on the top and bottom so they don't jiggle around. Oh, there's 2 top loaders. So each one, he gave me 1 for each. Nice. So we taped the bottom or the top, depending how you see it. So that's 1. That's 2. So actually, they look a lot better than I thought. I might, even though I don't want to show the listing per se, I might show a little bit of the pictures that were provided to me. So I'll still reference the conversation. I'll still show certain things, right? But no names, stuff like that, if I can avoid it, if I don't have to. So came inside deck sleeves, and then it came inside perfect fit sleeves. I think he put 2 in each one. Oh no, oh, these are the ones that kind of have a little flap at the bottom. I've seen these before. But from the back, okay, here you can see this one has more wear on the back. The front looks great. So actually this is, yeah, moderately played. More from the back though. And okay, I do see a little crease. I was warned about this, right? So nothing shady from the seller. I was well aware of that. I just kind of forgot. Okay, this one's a bit more worn out. But like I said, they're 500 each. They're gonna have issues. This is most likely the most expensive dual line. Either that or volcanic island. So as long as they're decent enough, I'm fine with it. All right, so first one has some smudges here and there. I don't want to trim it out with my nail. Here I'm just taking a quick look at the popping up the listing again. So I can maybe show some conversation, some of the pictures provided. Okay, let's see. Okay. Right. All right. So mainly I was given one photo. This just reminding me, right? So I keep on getting so many things that. So let me share my screen here. So he was showing the details on the creased card, right? So, and then he provided this video here, right? So which I think is a cool touch, right? To show off the crease. So there it looks worse, right? So in person seeing it here is not as bad. So appreciated that little bit of detail. Ooh, and I just realized I was so excited to open these up that I have no close-up camera. Let me see if I can get it real quick. Although, all right, we'll see if I can set that up. But at least let me continue on looking up over here. The glare's a little, well, not a little. Yeah, you can't really. So there's a smudge there, a little smudge there. Can't really tell anywhere else, anywhere here that can be placed. Okay. So first, now I'm skipping this step, right? Just the authentication part. But no, this definitely feels legit. It's a little worn, well, very worn, very played, but definitely has that feeling. No shininess to it. So yeah, no doubt they are authentic. This one's the one that looks a little better from the. Actually, they're both, I guess, similarly conditioned. The one with the crease has less issues up front, and the other one has more specs, but that may be cleanable. We'll see. All right, so let's see if I can set up my other cam quick, but they're perfectly fine, right? So I'm happy with it. I'm looking to get 2 more, and so it depends on the situation. Maybe I splurging actually, right? Because these are definitely worn, right? Well used. Player's copy is what the term I feel, right? So somebody that's a player that needs the card to play, but it's not, right? It's not supposed to be like for display, right? You're not supposed to care so much about the condition of it because the purpose is for playing. On that end, they are perfectly fine. So the other dual lands, I was more willing to go for the near mint or light plate because they're cheaper, right? Savannas are pretty low on the lower tier price cost. So they're easier to get a good copy for a cheaper price. These over here, right? Even in this condition, 500. And as I said, this is cheap. This is not, you gotta wait to get a deal like this usually. weigh quite a bit. So when I noticed as soon as I saw it, like I keep refreshing, the page and everything on everything, eBay, the Facebook group, and when this came up, I had to take it for right there and then. All right, so let's see if my setup in this room is a little bit different. So I'm a bit more forward, so I'm more underneath the lights. So it made affect just the way the image pops up. So this one, I believe, if this is the creased one. Actually, I thought the crease was on this side, but no, it's the one on that, it's on that side. So let me show that part. So this one has just normal wear, but it looks pretty good. There's the crease right there on that side. And it's pretty well used, right? A lot of scratches, worn around the edges, worn top, right? So the black borders are graying. Now there's the other one. This one has more issues up front. Even though this one, I think this was, well, yeah, definitely this originally was priced at 525. This one, the other one, 500. The guy let me have it for 500 and with shipping paid, right? So decent discount. All right, there, right? You see some smudges here and there. And then here you see a smudge on the text box, right? Kind of like right in, almost in the middle, right? So it's a little too obvious in that one. Hopefully, so I'll play around a little bit with, see if I can kind of either remove those smudges or lessen them. Back. Yeah, so pretty worn. But that's what I paid for. And it's still like, and as it looks, it's still a good deal. All right, so pretty excited because of what this means. 2 underground seas, 2 more to go. Black Lotus, I'm not getting anytime soon. So, but I might splurge on a Maru Universe. They're like 400 or 500. Or I go do something else. Disrupting Scepter. I don't think his latest version from 2019. That's the one I've been looking at. He posted a video on YouTube about it. That one didn't have a Disrupting Scepter, even though traditionally it does have it, right? So may I go cheap and just put a Disrupting Scepter in that spot, save myself $400 or $500. I was also thinking of, I think, Ring of Maruf, right? So it's a pretty interesting card. Basically, it's like, I mean, it is, you get a card from your sideboard. It's an artifact, makes you search your sideboard for a card. It replaces itself with that card, basically, right? Nowadays, that's commonplace. But that's the only card that I know that did that for a very long time, right? So it was in the originals, I think that's Arabian Nights or something like that. But so it was in early, but then it was not repeated for a long. That effect was not repeated for a long time, at least to my knowledge. So I was thinking may I just go that route as well. That one is I believe like a couple hundred, definitely a few hundred. So that's another option I was kind of looking at. So we'll see, right? So I have one slot I got to fill. May I just put a mana vault there, right? That'd be the most one-to-one comparison to Black Lotus, right? We'll see. But these 2 here, I need 2 more. I need Ivory Towers, but that's a cheap enough card. That's why I'm not I'm not rushing to get it because I could get it anytime I want. Basically, when I know I'm getting the next two, that's when I'll be more inclined to get the Ivory Towers. Or when I make another transaction from TCG Player, I'll sneak those in as well, right? But very excited to have such an iconic deck at my disposal. I'm sure I'm going to butcher the playing of it. But me personally, my favorite color is blue. I love counter spells type of things, stasis, mill decks, right? So non-traditional ways of winning, combo decks, right? So that's my in general, that's my most liked type of decks and type of cards. So although I love the Armageddon deck as well, right? So it's pretty fun, but ideally something in control, maybe with also a touch of aggro is more my speed, right? So 100% control, I'm cool with that also, but which the deck is, but it's more situation. I may play it every now and then. So definitely I'm getting this deck knowing that it's not my main deck, right? So even though it probably would be for most people, right? Because it's an extremely well-balanced and proven deck list. Just from, me, right? I'm the one playing, I'm the one that's going to be enjoying the games or not. I'll definitely want to play it and definitely will enjoy it, but here and there, right? So I might join a tournament with it here and there, but the version of it that I may want, that I see myself more using, is a control with aggro, right? So Serendipity Freeds, things like that, right? So and so I'll see if there's a deck list that has those, that melding of the two things. And I already have cards that fit the bill, right? So for both, so that's a nice thing. As I'm building my collection more and more, I get more and more cards, makes my deck options more wide and also more flexible, right? So I can still have something that resembles the deck, but I can add a twist to it very easily, right? To accommodate my personal taste. Okay, but for now, my goal is to play the exact version -1 card, of course, Black Lotus, of Brian Weissman's the deck, because I want to have experience playing something so such an awesome and iconic deck, even though it is updated, right? So it's mana drain, I believe, right? It's restricted. In his day, it was not. He had Disrupting Scepters before, like several. Now he has none. So it's modernized to today's old school formats. I kind of wish they would do like a hard old school Magic where nothing's restricted, or it was restricted according to the tournament guidelines at the time, right? Because I'm sure certain things were already restricted. So that, kind of, so to really go back in time and, so I think that'd be a cool, and I'm sure if I search, there might be something like that. But the version that I'm looking at is the current, the deck version, right? Which has to, I believe it's Atlantic, is the version that allows for 4 strip mines. That's the main difference, or at least something that draws your eye to this version of the deck as opposed to previous ones. 4 strip mines. So that's the one I have. I already have those strip mines. So as I said, 2 cards, these 2 here, 2 more to go. Those couple of Ivory Towers I need, and then I'll decide what fills up the Black Lotus spot. But very, very close to completing now another very famous old school deck. I'm also going into Alice, Alliances, Ice Age. That's actually when I started in Revised, but barely. Like I just bought a couple packs and then my friends gifted me cards because I didn't have any money or barely any. So when I got really into it is during Ice Age and Alliances to a slightly lesser degree, not because I didn't want to, but the money issue. So that seems like a cool format. I already joined an old school Alice group, and so I'm already looking at what to build, but the prices are so attainable. You can get something that's very strong for 100 and 200, meaning the whole deck. The dual lands of Alice, right? The other card waste, things like that, are like $10, right? Maybe like 20 max, 10 and 20 range max. So very cheaply compared to, with this one card, I can make any old school Alice deck I want at the same price I pay with this. The only exception might be, of course, the Necroponences are $50 for near mint. I'm, since still pretty cheap, I'm probably going to go for near mint on these things as much as I can. And Force of Wills are over 100 near mints, right? But you can get plate stuff, right? So a lot cheaper. May half the price, may not half the price, but a third off. So we'll see. But it's a lot more attainable, and I'm not getting it so much because it's attainable, though I appreciate it. Of course, my wallet appreciates it, but because it means from a personal perspective, means a lot to me, because that's when I really fell in love with the game. So there will be a future videos about that as well. But I have joined also a old school Magic tournament. I'll be playing tomorrow, actually, and then the day after that. I was supposed to play yesterday. I made myself available, but nobody was available, right? So it's kind of like, people chat with you, get grouped depending on what tournament it is, but in general, you sign up, you get grouped with a certain set of people, and everybody has to message each other and set up a time. But of course, we all work, have obligations, so it can be a little tricky. But I'm excited to use my Armageddon deck. I'm sure I won't make it past the first round. And I've made it, clear to the group, I'm a newbie, totally. This would be legit my first old school Magic games via webcam. And from actually playing old school, not since the days of 93, 94, 95, 96. Until now, that's when would be the last time I played anything that resembles old school. Because I always kept up, I played standard, right, current. So as the sets rotated, I kept up with, not throughout the whole nearly 30 years of Magic. I would say a good half the amount, at least. I kind of either kept up somewhat strongly or at least dipped my toes in it here and there. So that's why this old school is so cool to me, because you're always thinking about the latest set. The old stuff you kind of forget. But as I explained in my introductory videos, it not only does it get old, it's been old. I kind of like kept on playing it because I love the game, but it's turned way too gimmicky for way too long ago. And this is my way of going back to the Magic roots that made me initially fall in love with the game. So in conclusion, because I ramble on too long, 2 here, 2 more to go, but I'm not in no rush because I still have to acquaint myself with the Armageddon deck, not just the one, right? I have 5, 6 different versions of that, and plus I have that extra deck that I kind of, semi-created. So no, so I'm in no rush to finish this. I'm definitely inclined to wait, kind of like as I waited for a good opportunity to get these two in a very good price. I will wait for the other two as I pay off the bills, make myself just more stable in that sense. So that way, I'm once again open to more purchases. All right, so that is the end of the video. Thank you for watching. 2 more to go.